Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Ellie Lee.
And I'm Morley.
And today we are joined by psychic healer, spiritual teacher, and CEO of Masters of Self University. Please give it up for Rachel Fiori.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Rachel. Welcome back to our show. It's a show now. Danny, I know that you had a really good intro into what we're talking about today, so if you wanted to kick it off.
Yeah, last week I was in the cinema and I was watching the new Batman film. I was really enjoying it, and the darkness started to build in the film. And as it did, it started triggering a wound that I had from childhood about something that I felt really shame and guilty for. And it was a lot of darkness, what I was feeling in my own body. And it just really, over the week, I've been reflecting and wanting to know what is the darkness? How does it work? And why, when we feel the darkness in a film, does it allow us to feel the darkness inside of us?
Yeah, well, the quick answer to that is because we are one. We're not separate from anything. And that's why the more you heal yourself and you evolve, the more you feel everything, because we are one, right? So when we talk about darkness, there's all different levels of what that means. Okay. And a lot of times we don't want to talk about, evil, but that's part of what darkness is. So first of all, let's give a very simple understanding that darkness is, we create quote unquote darkness. We create, and I'm going to use another word now, harm. When we are unhealed, when we run programs out of our shadow self, our unhealed self, our unconscious self programs, mental programs, emotional programs, behavioral programs that we don't realize we're running. That is darkness, because we are always causing harm when we are not our lighted selves, our awakened selves. I'll give one simple example. There was a student in class in the Mystical Life Coach Certification program, that one of the things that he wanted to heal was the fact that he knew he needed to end a relationship, a romantic partnership with someone that for the past year, however long it's been, he's always kind of known she wasn't really the one, but he continued the relationship with her because he was lonely, because he wanted sex, he wanted companionship, he wanted the attention, he wanted the, right, on and on. And what was getting created as a byproduct of that energetically, I want everybody to listen carefully. When you make choices that are out of selfishness, because that's an example of being selfish, I'm using this person to give me temporary relief of my loneliness. You're now using somebody. That's selfish. That's using. That's objectifying, because I'm willing to use you for sex, but not commit to you in the way that you think I'm committing. I'm also lying and being dishonest. Oh, are we running a lot of programs here? You see it? As a byproduct of that, we are causing harm to this other person. Why? Well, because I'm going to keep you at a certain distance. I'm going to constantly lie to you. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm good. So I'm lying, I'm causing harm. And I have her question, and we might get in arguments or conflicts, and I continue to lie. No, you're just imagining things. We're good. You see what we do to people? Mm-hmm. As a byproduct of that, the only thing that can come out of that is harm for her and harm for me. Harm for her because I'm lying, I'm manipulating, I'm being selfish. I'm using, I'm objectifying. Harm for me, because what gets created energetically inside of me, two big things for him: guilt and shame. How do you not feel guilt and shame in there? Whether you're aware of it or not, it builds energetically guilt and shame. And when that guilt and shame is suppressed, we don't want to see what we're actually doing versus what we like to think, right? We don't want to see it. We don't want to feel that. So we suppress it. And then that usually comes out as anger, as conflict, and as blaming your partner. You'll get annoyed with her for something she says or does, and she's not doing anything wrong. But that's where the guilt and the shame is going to come out. It's going to come out as a projection and anger and pointing the fingers as blame. It's going to come out as blame because I don't want to blame myself for what I'm actually doing. Energetically, that is how it works. You see it? That is darkness. It isn't coming from, the enlightened characteristics of oneness. You're not coming from selflessness. You're not coming from presence. You're not coming from truth. You're not coming from trust. You see it? Because of that, when you come from those aspects, you're creating love, light, positivity, beauty, safety, protection, oneness. When you come from the other examples, you're creating the opposite things, and there's your darkness growing on the planet and within yourself.
One of my favorite quotes that Peter Crone says, the mind architect, is the absence of love is abuse. And it just rings so true that anytime we're not in love, we're abusing somebody in some way.
Yeah.
And is the darkness here because of free will as the opposite to light? And this is our, it has to be there for us to evolve in order to step closer to the light?
It is there because we create it, because of our free will choices, when we choose to act out in less than divine, less than loving ways. So we create darkness everywhere, all over. And then we like to point fingers at everybody else. Oh, but you're worse than me because I'm not, racist or sexist, but how are you showing up in your everyday life with all beings on the planet? Are you creating love, harmlessness, and gentleness, or are you harming? And in so many ways, we harm, but we don't like to admit it. And evil and darkness exists on the planet because we look the other way, because we spiritually bypass. That's what opens the door and allows it in. I want to live in my positivity bubble and pretend like darkness doesn't exist, which means I'm really living as powerlessness. I'm really living as a weak, pathetic human being who wants to run away from things instead of step into my divine warrior self and transmute the fucking darkness on the goddamn planet because I'm powerful enough to do it. I'm too weak to do that. So I'm going to pretend to be positive. And I'm going to be, love and light, which means every time you do that, you open the door and you let more darkness in.
I had a moment last week when I was sharing a big part of my healing with my mother, and she said, "Oh, good, it's only positive, from here on out." And I was like, "No, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay with the pain, and I'm okay with the dark. Like, all of it, it's all welcome. It's not only positive because that's living with like blinders on.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to look at that because it's all positive."
Exactly. Exactly. We don't then live from truth. That's not truth. If I refuse to see the darkness inside of me, my shadow self, then I'm refusing to heal the darkness on the planet. It's that simple. That's what you're choosing. You're choosing the side of darkness when you only focus on the light. Denying the darkness allows the darkness in. Right? So in order to shine the light on the darkness is never to pretend it isn't there. It is to dive into it, and the light that you are will illuminate the darkness that is there. How do you do that? Willingness to see what is in there. Only with the willingness to see it is you now created the opportunity for light to transmute it. That's what creates the space to actually transmute and heal the darkness within yourself and on the planet, is that I'm willing to see it. I'm willing to go into it. I will never deny the darkness on this planet or within myself. I will go into the darkness, and with the power of my light, I will love that shit until it doesn't exist anymore. Because only through love does it alchemize.
And just to follow up on that for anyone listening, like, it wasn't in my own journey, it wasn't until I really started to look at an aspect of myself I'd been denying and loving the darkness within me that I was really able to heal. And that's a whole nother story for another time, which I'll be sharing. But it really is true. As soon as you're able to honestly look at the darkness with love, that's where your transformation begins.
Beautifully said.
The darkness has been around me my whole life. Like, I remember being very little and feeling the darkness, and I never knew that I had to accept it. So it became something that I hated about myself. It was something of, why am I like this? And why is this all around me? And why does it fill me? And why does it run through me? And why isn't anybody else feeling or experiencing what I am? And it was only until I started this journey that I realized it was actually the greatest gift. And when you love the dark, that's what we're here to experience, because without the dark, you can't appreciate the light. And without the light, you can't look back in the dark and say, thank you for that. And so, but a lot of people are very afraid of the dark. That's why they will never go down this journey. And that's why you call it the warrior's path.
Yeah. That's why they won't heal, because weak people don't heal. Only warriors do. And warriors go into the darkness with the light that they are.
You know, one thing that really stuck with me in your teachings is the micro is part of the macro, right? And so yesterday I had this girl pop up on my TikTok, and she used to really treat me poorly. Like, she used to be one of those people where, like, because I wasn't famous enough or like popular enough, like, she would really treat me like I was nothing, very inferior. And she popped up, and immediately I was like, this bitch, right? I was like, and I just wanted to just destroy her in my mind. But then I remembered, like, by me hating on her is only putting this energy into the macro of hate, of judgment, of anger. And so in that moment, I was like, I'm gonna transmute this into total love for you. And also, it made me see how wounded she was in all of her stuff. And then it created so much compassion. And then I went past her video, and I was like, I hope you're doing well, girl. And it was such a pivotal moment for me, because you realize this is the work in these everyday little moments where you can transmute. Exactly. And then obviously that's ricocheted into the collective.
Exactly. That is exactly it. And how to energetically do that and achieve that is exactly what we teach at Masters of Self University. It's what all of our mystical life coaches guide all of our clients through in our coaching programs, is how do you actually do that? And I make it very clear to you, you don't do it by, oh, that's all I do, boom, flip a switch. You have to learn the process of actually achieving that, and it takes some time to learn how to do it. That's why we coach the way that we coach when we offer programs, because this isn't here's your 3 hacks to get you to heal the darkness and your hate. Like, that's not going to fucking work. It doesn't. Stop wasting your time. Stop paying money for that shit. It's ridiculous. And be willing and devoted to doing the hard work, because it's work. And it takes time to learn. It's a process. But once you learn it, you are set free, and then you're setting free and healing the whole entire planet. Hello, don't you want to be that? Who doesn't want to be that?
Yeah, it's wild, because it's a domino effect. You know, one person learns it, understands it, heals it, loves it, and then how can that not affect other people? You know, that's why it's so profound, what we're doing.
It is.
This is truly, I think, what it means to be a light worker, a worker of the light.
It absolutely is. It is. It's a warrior's journey. And light worker doesn't mean you just focus on the damn light. That doesn't even exist. You are not a light worker if you refuse or are too afraid to go into the darkness. You're no light worker if you don't go into the darkness. Hello, you're to go into the darkness and illuminate it. That's what a light worker is. You have to work to illuminate this right here that is darkness, that is evil, that is pain, that is ugly, that is hate. You go inside of those things and you illuminate it and transform it from the inside out with the light that you are. That's a light worker. A light worker isn't somebody that walks around in robes or half naked around a fire chanting shit and burning their messages in the fire. Like, that's not what a light worker is. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm spiritual, so I'm a light worker. No, you're not. You're spiritual. Good for you. That's fun. A light worker is a warrior. And that's diving into evil and darkness and not pretending like it isn't there. Light workers don't pretend that evil doesn't exist. Cowards do. Not ready to step into your power, that's okay. But don't call yourself a light worker. Light workers are nothing but power. You're the power of the light.
Just to stay on this darkness of the topic of the darkness, the movies that we see, the music that's put out, is that all a reflection of the darkness that lies within the collective?
Yeah, easy answer is yes.
And if we're drawn to such movies or such genres of music, is that a reflection of parts of us that we're still not willing to look at, or parts of us that are unhealed or just vibrating at the same level?
It can be. It can be. But the truth is, true light workers, true healers are like, oh, that darkness over there, let me go see what that is. Why? Because the power of me can transmute the shit out of that. That's why. So that can be, yes, but it is also people who are really powerful are like, I don't want to say attracted to those things, but I should say more like they can appreciate elevated, highly conscious people who are very powerful in their light, can appreciate TV shows or movies or things that have darkness in there. They can appreciate the artistic, whatever artistically is offered in that movie or whatever it might be, right? Because they're not afraid of the darkness in that show. Does that make sense? Because they don't fear the darkness. They can transmute it. It's like, oh, darkness, oh, look, you're right there. I'm so loving you. Darkness won't want to come anywhere near you. Darkness is the one who doesn't want to come near the light.
Darkness doesn't stick to light.
No.
I always think that shit just doesn't stick. You go in there with your bright light and nah, it doesn't. And I've heard shamans talk about how, like, oh, what about if a dark entity comes and, well, don't worry. If it comes, it's going to go away because it doesn't want anything to do with the light.
And entities will come near people of the light in order to try to scare people of the light to go back into hiding. Get out of your power. Don't be in love, be in fear. Go into fear. I win. I just created more darkness in you by coming near you. Darkness comes and there's a dark entity there because they exist. Evil exists. And they will come near you when you're a powerful light being, because it tries to scare you to shrink back down, disconnect from your divine power. And there it just created more darkness. See how it works? And that's how it drips in. That's how it gets people. So if instead you're like, oh my God, there's a dark end, I just felt this evil dark entity thing near me, drop into your heart and powerfully grow your light and love the shit. I will hug the shit out of some evil entity. I will love you. That thing won't come near me. Shit, there she turned the light up higher. She's more powerful. She is actually emanating love towards me and embracing me with love. That thing will either start to transmute itself in the moment, or it's going to get the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
It is there to create more darkness, not to be transmuted or alchemized by the light. That's not its goal. You see it? So that stuff is real. It happens, but the way to alchemize is to become an alchemist. And that means to drop in, connect to my divine power, learn how to do that, learn to heal my own darkness so evil won't be attracted to it, because there's nothing left of that in me. And then if any dark entity or evil wants to come near me because I'm becoming more powerful in my light, aw, come on in. I can transmute you in just a matter of a couple minutes if you get close enough.
Mm.
It won't. It'll leave. So you're either going to transmute it off the planet. Hello, powerful. Now you're a light worker, aren't you? That's a real light worker. Or it'll run away. It'll get the hell away from you. That's okay. We'll get you at some point.
This might be a vague question, but why are people so afraid of the darkness?
Because they live in their programs of fear and unconsciousness. That's why. The programs themselves, the programs of fear, the programs of weakness, the programs of powerlessness, the programs of separation. If I'm not powerful enough to even go into my own pain and love that, how am I powerful enough to heal some dark entity? You see it? A lot of humans aren't, we've been conditioned to not even love our own pain. Oh, don't cry. Oh, but don't cry. What are you talking about? Don't cry. Like my loved one just died. I'm not going to cry. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean don't cry? I'm going to go in and I'm going to cry and I'm going to love and nurture myself through my grief. That's power. That's love, right? If I need to cry, I need to cry. Who cares? You see, we can't even go into our own pain, our own darkness, let alone then the evil on the planet. That's scary, which is why it always boils down to you. You going inside of you, going within, healing, seeing your own darkness, becoming more powerful every single time you do that. You are lighter, you are brighter, you are more divine. That's divine power. And the more you grow from the inside out with the power of your golden white light, the more it's just easy to handle darkness then that comes near you, because it's no match for you now.
And I realize people act very differently when you really step into that.
Yeah.
It's a very fascinating experience because I don't think they're aware that they feel it, but they're definitely treating you in a different way.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people I think that at home would listen to this and be like, but you don't understand how dark my darkness is. Like, you don't understand how intense it is. You don't even get it. What would you say to people like that?
Those are programs running that's keeping you from being healed, period. That's what's keeping you from being healed. Stop comparing and contrasting. That is ego. Those are programs of separation. But you must not know, because I see you as healed and powerful. You must not know darkness. Get the fuck out of your own way. Are you kidding me? Stop being so small. Everybody experiences pain. Everybody has had a tough run. Stop with the, I have it tougher. Or it's that victim consciousness that says that, by the way. That's another program of victim consciousness that is rearing its ugly head. When someone in victim consciousness sees another person who is healed and whole and powerful and highly conscious and etc., oh, well, you must not understand me. Oh, I understand you better than you understand yourself, because I see all your programs running. You only see one or two. What are you talking about? See? So it's just another program or dozens of programs running to keep you small, to keep you unhealed. That's what programs do. So stop making excuses with how dark it is for you and get to healing it. I don't accept excuses. I don't accept excuses. It doesn't matter how dark and ugly. Because we have enough power, enough love to transmute all of it. So come on, let's go. That's it. Let's just do it. You want to learn how? You'll come to one of our mystical life coaches and you'll join a coaching program. You'll come in for psychic healings that we offer at Masters of Self University. You want to heal it? Fucking heal it. But I don't accept excuses. That's not what I do. We need to love what is in there, not make excuses for it.
Is the only way to the light through the darkness, or is that the best way? Because for me, it wasn't until I really hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
until I was really in depression and really anxious and felt like my world had gone. The world was grey. It was flat. My emotions were gone. That I really had to honestly look at myself and say, okay, what do I need to do to change myself, to change my life in order? And it put me on this path. And I started looking for answers. And the answers brought me to where I'm at now, which is way better than where I was when I started.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done a magnificent job at healing and transforming yourself and stepping into your divine power, your divine self. It's been beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch. Magnificent. You've done the work. You're beautiful. So, to answer your question, the easy answer is yes, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's just that we don't know any better. So humanity is still so low in their level of consciousness. Oh, did a lot of people get triggered right there? Because we love to believe we're so highly conscious, don't we? We love to put those labels instead of seeing the reality of where humanity really is. We function at a very low level of consciousness. That's not an insult. That's just where we've been for the last 10,000 years. So because of that, what we need to kick us in the ass to do the real work to get there and really find out these things and step into our power and what this means. It's not just words. We need the low of the lows. Most people do. Most people need to hit whatever their quote unquote rock bottom is for them. That is true for most people, because when people are like happy and feel good, why would they go seek out a challenge?
Right.
Unless it's one that I know I can win or I can achieve at. Does that make sense? Like we'll have challenging goals in our life if we know we can really succeed at them. But we won't have a challenge that'll be so painful that'll tear us open, bloody and raw. Like, oh no, I'm not going to go do that. I'm going to go just run the Spartan, because no matter how challenging that is, it doesn't tear me open from the inside out. I'm okay with cuts and bruises. You see it? We wouldn't go and say, oh, this relationship I'm about to enter, that is going to tear me from limb to limb, rip my heart out, shred it, stomp on it, pour gas on it, and light it on fire. And that is so that my soul can grow and learn really critical lessons. Nope, I'm good. We wouldn't choose that. We'd be like, no, that's going to end up terrible and shitty, and we're going to break up anyway or divorce anyway. I'm not going down that path. I'm going to go try to find someone else who won't cause me that much pain. You see it? We are so low in our consciousness, we avoid anything that our soul needs us to go through in order to actually expand into a more divine self. So because of that, only one of two things you're going to experience to get those challenges. You're either going to get there because you're making the choices to avoid it and you're living not in your power, right? So life is going to get harder, and it's going to force you. Now I really have to find out how to heal myself because this is unbearable. Or life is going to drop a boulder on your head and you're going to have to deal with it. What do you do now? You know, that's what most people need, because we're not yet at a level where, oh my God, life is actually working for me on my behalf. It's always against me. Because of that, it's going to always feel like life's against you. You see it?
Would you say that the darkness in some regard does work for the light, in that it's there to bring people in, to wake them up?
I think a lot of people think that. I teach differently. I don't think it works for the light. I think it works for itself. It's just that when we don't realize in human form that we come from the light, we are easily persuaded and influenced by the darkness, by evil itself. So, no, I think people say those types of things and teach those types of things because they're trying to make sense of it. And they're also trying to, on a subconscious level, justify the darkness they have within themselves.
Exactly.
We're always trying to justify the darkness we have within ourselves. always, instead of, ooh, there's darkness in here. Let me see that so I can transmute that. I don't want to put that out to the world or any other person. It's, oh no, we need the darkness. We don't fucking need the darkness. No, we don't. Absolutely not. We don't need evil. We don't need it. It is here because we ourselves have evil and darkness in us. The macro is a reflection of the micro, period. You see it?
Before I was on started this work, the darkness was eating me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Especially because I was so hypnotized by Hollywood and all the things. I think when you're separated, when you're completely cut off from source, which I was, the only thing that looked appealing to me was being famous and making a lot of movies and shows and just being known. Like, I really thought that was it. So I'm going to go for it. And I think my soul was like, that is not what we're here to do. But it was through that I completely broke, that I completely fell apart. And I knew this is nothing. This is nothing. And thus began the journey climbing up. And so I can honestly say to people out there, like, you think you know what you want. You think you know the things that are going to fill you or bring you happiness. It's none of that. This work and this journey, my life isn't I don't have $1 billion. I don't travel. It's not on any of these things. But why is it that I feel joy? That is unexplainable. Why is it that I feel more powerful every day as I go on this journey? And I think that is the beauty of the darkness, because if I didn't fall apart, I would have never, found myself in what this is. And so learning to love and accept the darkness has been monumental for me, but also so hard. And so I would love if you could touch upon to, like, this journey it's not, unicorns and sprinkles and butterflies. This is,
No, it isn't. And it doesn't mean that doesn't also exist. That is part of it. But the only way to get to there is to realize is to learn and become the power that you are. What does that mean? If you're powerful, you go inside of your pain and you love it into transcendence, and you learn what that means on an energetic level. Not on a social media meme that sounds nice and will get you followers. You learn what that means, and you become that. The more powerful you become, of course, you then have unicorns in your backyard and rose petals falling from the sky, like on top of that. Does happen too. It's just, it's not, you're spiritually bypassing if you think it's all like, oh, I'm just going to feel love and light as I awaken. No. Why? Because it doesn't require strength or power to feel that. Do you see it? I want to hit this home because I don't think a lot of people are going to understand what that really means. To grow your power is to go into your emotional pain. That is how you grow your power. Avoiding pain is what we've been conditioned to do, and that means we've been conditioned to be weak. We are spiritually and emotionally weak when we can't handle emotions. We can't handle other people's emotions or pain. That's emotional immaturity, spiritual immaturity. I can't handle your pain, so don't cry. No, just get yourself together. Oh, what? That means I can't handle your pain. I can't handle your pain, which is why I want everybody to calm down and be nothing but love and light. The most spiritually and emotionally immature people are the love and light only people. They can't handle shit. They can't handle shit. I'm not picking you from my team because we'll lose. My team, who I pick on my team, when we go into battle, the reason why we're going to win is because we can handle the pain when it shows up. If you can't handle your own pain, how do you handle other people's pain? You see, that's not power. Learning to become powerful means learning to love the pain when it is there so that it no longer needs to be there. You don't love the pain when it's there. It keeps you weak. When you avoid, when you deny, when you suppress, when you go to your addictions, it keeps you weak and it keeps you unhealed. None of that is power. None of that is light. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
And so learning to become powerful, that is the whole point, is to step into what true power is. And that means divine power, that I can handle anything. And while I move through this very uncomfortable or painful or challenging experience that life just offered to me, I'm going to do it with nothing but unconditional love for myself and with grace for this scenario, no matter what it is. I can be in pain. I can cry. I can have my emotions, but I'm going to love the shit out of them while I do. That's powerful. That's what real self-love is.
Yeah. That's that's really hard for a lot of people to grasp, because if you can't even accept, people can't even accept that they're weak, right? What do you mean I'm weak? You're like, what do you mean? You know, and it's like, for people out there, right, who are really resonating with this message, we talk a lot about love your pain, heal your pain, right? And they're like, I don't get it. I get a lot of comments like this, like, so how?
Yep.
So how? And I think you've really taught us very simply of what it means to drop into the heart and grow your light. But for people at home, can you touch upon that? Because I feel like people really need to hear it.
Here's the thing, though. Everybody listening to this, I cannot sit here and explain it in words and then you miraculously do it. That doesn't exist.
Right.
That is what you need to hear. That does not exist. It doesn't. You have to come learn at an energetic level the process with which to achieve this. It is a process. So the absolute best thing you can do is right now go to mastersofselfuniversity.com and sign up for a free consultation. All of our mystical, certified mystical life coaches offer free consultations for you so that you can learn more deeply about our 3-month coaching program, where we literally teach you how to do this. It is a learning process. You have to have the willingness to learn and the devotion to it. 3 months is what we require minimum. So if you're willing to spend 3 months learning how to heal yourselves completely and step fully into your power and learn what it actually means on an energetic level to love yourself, then you need to go get a free consultation for one of our mystical life coaches at mastersofselfuniversity.com. Otherwise, no, there's no such thing as me trying to explain it and you just being able to suddenly turn around and do it. None of that works. None of that works. None of that works. It's no different than saying, here's your 5 hacks to get to self-love. It's all fucking bullshit. And people should be waking up more and more by now to realize that stuff out there is all bullshit. You want to do the real work and achieve the real results, you come to Masters of Self University. We're the only ones in the world, literally, that teach at this level. So come join us and heal yourselves and elevate to the highest level possible. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah, because I feel like when I first had my consultation with you, I thought that I was, oh yeah, I'm healing. Like, oh yeah, I'm really I'm really on the path. I wasn't, I wasn't. And it wasn't until I started this work that even the people on my social media was like, you've changed. Like, it feels like you're really doing the work. And I was like, oh my God, even you can notice that. And so, yeah, everyone at home, if you're feeling that nudge, listen to that nudge.
That's your intuition.
Yeah. Because Danny, you remember your first nudge when you heard Rachel? I remember my first nudge.
There wasn't a nudge from me. It was I felt like I got pushed off a cliff.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like looking over Niagara Falls and then the universe just threw me over. Ah! Yeah, not very nudge, but yeah.
Yeah.
You feel it. And I'd done loads of work on myself before this, not particularly guided by one particular coach, lots of different programs, Impact Theory University for mindset, working with plant medicines, working with shamans. And it felt like, all of that helped about 5%. And then this took me the other 90, and I've still got about another, well, maybe I've got more than 5% to go, but you know, you get the picture. It really started when I began this work, because it's on another level. And it really empowers you, because you are the healer.
Yes.
It's not anyone else. It's you. I said this to Ellie yesterday. I was like, God, I'm a really good self-healer, you know?
You did say that.
Yeah, I did. I said it yesterday. I was like, I'm a good self-healer.
I love it.
But yeah,
I
Rachel, right before I started with you, I was in this program where you can communicate with angels and like have angels guide you. And when I started your work, I had to stop that program, because I'm like, stop teaching me to look outside of myself and depend on my spirit guides and Metatron and this archangel and this. And because what it does too is it completely takes you away from yourself.
Exactly.
And then I was finding myself like moving through all of this, like the pain and the woundedness, all this stuff. And I'd be like, Archangel Michael, please come and heal me. And it's like, I wasn't getting, I was just in circles constantly.
Exactly. Please heal me.
Yes.
Please take this pain away. It's always looking outside of yourself instead of learning, I am a divine being, just as they are. The only difference is right now in this moment, my divine self is showing up in human form to experience a human life. Use your divine power to heal yourself. And the more you step up and learn what that actually means, especially through our coaching programs we offer, you become that power. You become the divinity that you are. And then guess what? You want to talk to any archangel, they'll magnify what you already do. That's when you're going to see the bigger results. They will magnify what you already do. I used to do a lot, many years ago, I used to do a lot of angel healings. Archangels would come in and heal with me when I was doing psychic healings on people. And then one day they all just poof, vanished, gone. Just gone, all of them. And I worked with a lot of beings, but angels and archangels were really big in how they worked with me. And they just disappeared one day. And I was like, where the hell? I don't hear you. Where the hell did you go? And I could see them in the room with me. They would show up in the room and I could see them all. Oh, look, Archangel Metatron's here. Oh my God. I don't know you. What archangel are you? And they would tell me. And all of that one day was just gone. And I've seen miraculous healings with people. Like, okay, I'm going to call, what archangel is best for this? And they would show up and tell me who they were. And then we'd do a healing. Like, one man with a drinking problem had his whole life and then never touched booze again, ever, never had a drink ever again after that healing. And that was an archangel healing. So for that to suddenly be gone, it was like, I don't even know why you left. They went dead silent.
Wow.
And it took me elevating and upgrading myself way more to realize you're using us too much. And you don't realize you have all of that power inside of you. We're not helping you anymore.
Yep.
They were done. And so that then came the lessons as a spiritual teacher of, well, what does this mean now? And it's like, well, you have to teach this, so you better get it right. And by the way, that's angels talking. Angels are no bullshit. Get it right. You can do it, so do it. Get it right.
Some of the teachings I've listened to about Jesus, one of the things that I've heard people say is all he did was open them up to the infinite healer that they are. He didn't do anything.
Exactly.
He just acted as a mirror, and they, in their reflection, they saw the divine being that they were, and then they were able to heal themselves. He didn't actually do any of the healing. And here's us all worshiping him, like he was a god. We're all the exact same. We're just close to it.
He just achieved it and was the teacher to teach it.
Right.
You see? And as amazing as he was, he taught exactly what you just said. He guided people to go within instead of looking without. Why do you think he was hunted and murdered? Because down comes religion if we do that.
Jesus didn't make all the churches, No. He didn't make all these grandiose things to make us walk in and feel really small and separated.
Yep.
No, he talks about going into the desert for 40
Yep.
days and 40 nights
Yes.
with nobody,
Yes. Exactly.
with nothing,
Nothing.
so he could get closer to himself.
Yes.
Because that's where the
Exactly.
magic lies.
That's where the magic lies. It's waiting for you. It's in there, in everybody. That is exactly it.
And
that was.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, that's what you teach us.
Yeah.
You teach us to come back to self.
Yep.
Period.
And that means literally stripping you. Stripping you. Stop with the breath work. Stop with all the goddamn plant medicine ceremonies. Stop with the fire ceremonies. Stop thinking yoga is going to bring you to enlightenment. That is still a practice that is outside of you. Even though all those things are beautiful, and especially yoga, of course it is. And it doesn't mean there aren't divine aspects of those things, especially meditation, yoga. But the bottom line is, I am here to strip every person of all of it until you are naked and by yourself, standing only in your divine power, and realize how powerful you actually are. From that power, the power will grow. But you can't connect to that level of power if you're still relying on, well, here's the breath work I need. No, you fucking don't. Stop using tools and techniques outside of you, learning practices that are outside of you instead of going deep within and connecting to your source of power, which is you. You are your source of power, not that supportive tool or technique. That's not what they're meant for anyway. They're meant for you to be super powerful, learn what that means, and then enhance it by using a tool if you want to, even though you'll never need another tool again when you step into this level of power.
A few years ago, I started working with psilocybin just on my own and with friends in nature, very popular here in Colorado. It's decriminalized. And a really powerful medicine, really opened me up to like a lot of spiritual concepts, and allowed me to go into myself. And since we started this program, I haven't even had I have a slight urge to do it again. I just realized right now it's been nearly 6 months since we started this, and I haven't done any psilocybin because I don't feel like I need to.
Exactly.
Because this work opens that doorway, that gateway to the divine that I felt like I needed through the mushroom. Not to discredit the mushroom, because it got me here.
Yeah.
And it did what it was supposed to do. It opened the door and showed me, hey, there's a whole other thing over here. You should explore it. And now I'm exploring it. I don't need that tool anymore. And not to say I'm not ever going to do that again, occasionally. But I just want to express to the listeners that like this is real, and it causes shifts in the way that you show up and behave, and things that you might think you need, like yoga, breath. You don't need any of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never saying those things are wrong or bad. It's just you'll always need them if you always use them. It's going even deeper than that so that you don't need them.
And also, just back to Jesus really quickly, I think, we're living in crazy times and everybody thinks Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back. And I really, truly believe it's the second coming of Christ consciousness within us to really open and activate that. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, this work. For everyone out there at home, please visit mastersofselfuniversity.com. We have amazing certified coaches you can work with. You can also do one-on-one psychic healing with Rachel. We have so many amazing programs. Is there anything that you want to plug, Rachel?
I think my strongest suggestion is get a free consultation with our certified mystical life coaches. Get a consultation. Take that step. It is free. You have nothing to lose. It's free. And then learn more about in detail. You can ask your questions and you can decide in that moment, yes, moving forward with this work. There is absolutely nothing but emotional freedom and self-empowerment and self-love that comes from it. That's it. That's what you get from it. Become the healer that you need. That is just you. So I think if everybody signs up for a free consultation, go to the website right now, schedule it. You can schedule it directly on the website and you're in. So go talk to one of our amazing mystical life coaches and go from there.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, Rachel. We love you so much.
I love you too.
Please subscribe, leave a rating, leave us some comments. Danny, thank you for being here with me all the time.
Of course.
And we will catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye, everybody.